6 digits spent on ice cream and delivery, not to mention rumors of a paid pollster. What did Kamala Harris do, you guys? Well, you remember that Iowa pollster that dropped a surprise poll showing Harris winning the state all of a sudden? Well, it turns out that that top pollster is now retiring after her supposedly mistaken prediction. Watch.
The pollster is retiring. We are talking about this big veteran pollster, Ann Seltzer, who put out this big, really a lot of people were talking about it, where they're like, okay, is Kamala having a play at Iowa where it had her up by 4 points? That didn't turn out to be the case, but now we are learning that the veteran pollster Ann Seltzer announced that she was done with the election polling and moving on to other ventures after her pre-election poll in Iowa inaccurately showed Vice President Kamala Harris ahead of President-elect Donald Trump in the state he had easily won in 2016 and 2020. Over a year ago, I advised the Register I would not renew when my 2024 contract expired with the latest election poll as I transitioned to other ventures and opportunities, Seltzer explained in an op-ed on Sunday in the Des Moines Register. So that is what a lot of people are talking about now, truly here. And some on social media were saying, okay, did this have anything to do with her maybe retiring and then wanting to put out something that was maybe pro-Harris? Well, that she is rebuffing that and saying, no, I had this planned for a while.
She said that she had this plan for a while, but do we really believe her? Hearing about this news, President-elect Trump commented on Truth Social that what she did was a totally fake poll and it caused great distrust and uncertainty at a very critical time. And for Trump, the Iowa pollster knew exactly what she was doing. And he didn't miss a beat either. He said, "Thank you to the great people of Iowa for giving me such a record-breaking vote, despite possible election fraud by Ann Seltzer and the now discredited newspaper for which he works." He also said that an investigation is fully called for. Honestly, all I know right now is finally America is unburdened by what has been. But more precisely, we're now unburdened from that has been. You know what I mean? I mean, just look at the wastefulness that they're uncovering in the Harris campaign, spending on private jets and ice cream, all these crazy things. Watch.
Despite raising $1.6 billion, Harris's team not only lost to Donald Trump, but is now $20 million in debt. And reckless spending is a major reason for that, as a new report reveals shocking details. The Telegraph claimed the campaign spent $24,000 on food delivery and ice cream. Uber Eats and DoorDash accounted for nearly $15,000, while more than $8,900 was spent on premium ice creams from Sweet Lucy's and Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams. A $6,000 fee went to Arizona's Snakes and Lattes board game cafe for a Tim Walz visit. Private jet travel was another glaring expense. The vice president's team spent $12 million in private flights. In fact, between October 1st and October 17th alone, $2.6 million went to firms like Private Jet Services Group and Advanced Aviation Team. Critics slammed Harris's hypocrisy after she repeatedly called climate change an existential threat. And it wasn't just lavish lifestyle, but even celebrity endorsements drained funds. Last week, an American political commentator asked pop star Cardi B if she was paid to deliver a speech at Harris's rally. Now, Cardi B immediately swung into action, rubbished the reports and claimed that she wasn't paid. Oprah Winfrey, who hosted a Harris town hall, also denied claims of a $1 million payment. The production company, Harpo Productions, clarified it was paid $1 million for production expenses, not Winfrey herself. Extravagant choices extended to ad campaigns and events as well. The campaign spent a staggering $900,000 to reserve ad space at the Las Vegas Sphere, only to lose Nevada by 3 points.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, guys, no party that wastes $1 billion on a couple of months campaign should ever be in charge of anything. What do you think? Plus, the sheer amount of donor money that they wasted on celebrity endorsements, it's just overwhelming.
Ran an incredibly inspired campaign.
Inspired and in debt. Reportedly about $20 million worth after blowing through $1 billion in 110 days. Event production, including concerts and a sit-down with Oprah, cost $15 million. Influencers got $3.9 million, and Reverend Al Sharpton's National Action Network got $500,000.
Even my 3 teenage kids told me that brat girl summer is over. So why are you spending millions of dollars on Megan Thee Stallion twerking?
So the emails and texts asking supporters for money continue. The DNC tells Fox in a statement, the DNC's work continues in earnest past Election Day, and so our fundraising is continuing as well. Fundraising first, then messaging.
There is universal frustration in this country. Much of it, I actually think, justified.
See, even AOC admits that there's a lot of frustration in this country, and this lavish spending by the Harris-Walz campaign certainly doesn't help their case as a party. Oh yeah, and by the way, breaking news, guys, it turns out Oprah Winfrey's production company wasn't paid $1 million after all. It was even bigger at nearly $2.5 million for the celeb-packed town hall that it hosted, more than double the initial estimate reported. This was confirmed by 2 people familiar with the matter who told the New York Times. But still, guys, the TV star has denied receiving any personal payments from the Democrats team, and a former advisor to the Harris campaign also said that they did not pay anyone for their appearances or support. Oprah Winfrey said it was set design, lights, cameras, crews, producers, and every other item necessary, including the benches and the chairs that they sat on, in order to put on a live production, and that she didn't take any personal fees. So $2.5 million for a set and lights. Oh, and don't forget the benches and the chairs, right? Those are probably folding chairs from Walmart. Yeah, talk about out of touch. Remember when they made headlines? Everybody was talking about the Harris campaign broke records for the most donations compiled in the shortest amount of time. Now, it's also likely one of the most expensive to date, with her campaign blowing through $1.5 billion in 15 weeks, not to mention saddling the Democratic Party with $20 million in debt. Meanwhile, President-elect Donald Trump trounced Harris in the election, garnering 312 electoral votes. His estimated budget? $720 million. Now, what does that say about Democrats as a party? Basically, that they seem to just want to party. Am I right, guys? Because it wasn't just these celebrity endorsements. Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign shelled out $2.6 million on private jet travel in the final dying gasps of her presidential run, bringing her failed campaign's total tally on the environmentally unfriendly mode of transportation to a staggering $12 million. These are the same people who are trying to push us to go green. Unbelievable, guys. It's even worse when you think about how private jets, which can be up to 14 times more polluting than commercial flights, they fly in the face of their 2019 doom, saying that the global warming is an existential threat to humanity, as well as her own calls on the campaign trail for Americans to reduce their carbon emissions to stop global warming. Meanwhile, they're rolling up in private jets, constantly destroying our ozone layer. How hypocritical, right? Hypocrisy is what my uncle will call it. Benji Backer, founder and executive chairman of the American Conservation Coalition, also said the exact same thing. Kamala Harris and a lot of pro-climate leaders have a lot of hypocrisy with the words that they state and the realities that they must think are real. For him, there's just so much hypocrisy coming from the elitists that everyone else needs to change their lives except for them. And if you think we're done, nope, not even close. I know some of this was already mentioned in the clips, but I think they bear repeating. $12,097 on food delivery from Uber Eats, DoorDash since July. At least $12,081 on ice cream pints in parlors like Sweet Lucy's Ice Cream, Jenny's Splendid Ice Creams after President Biden was booted from the top of the ticket. $6,000 for a site fee at the Board Game Cafe Snakes and Lattes in Tempe, Arizona, where Minnesota Governor Tim Walz made a campaign stop to press college students to turn out on Election Day. $62,772 in room and catering fees at the posh 5-star Hotel DuPont in Wilmington, Delaware, when Biden's still running for office, a luxury king bed room complete with soaking tub currently runs $500 a night. $9,600 on food and drinks at Pebble Bar near Rockefeller Center, which counts celebs Pete Davidson in March, also while Biden was still the Democratic presidential nominee. As GOP consultant Aaron Perrin put it, nobody should be shocked that Kamala Harris is not being sworn in on January 20. Instead of getting the message out, they wanted to have a party. It's not how this works. And on top of of all that, the campaign gave out over $5.6 million to 24 lefty groups, a number of them Black or Latino advocacy groups or based in swing states she ended up losing. All of this to help push her agenda and rouse voters. And they're mad over Elon Musk's $1 million giveaways of his own money? Give me a break, guys. At least this was his money and his spending, not other donors. You know what I mean? But really, the crux of the matter is that despite the Harris's campaign's monstrous spending, which combined with aligned interest groups amounted to $1.6 billion, Trump made gains in every state of the union except for Washington since 2020 as he cruised to an election victory. Team Harris, meanwhile, they found themselves somehow saddled with $20 million in debt. And they just ended up outraging Democrats who are now finger pointing at one another and demanding accountability. Well, you know what they say, point one finger and you got three fingers pointing right back at you. Drop a quick yes in the comments, guys. Hit the like button if you guys agree. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tap the notification bell to show your support. All right, so further proof that America's tired of the Democratic Party and the likes of Kamala Harris, the fact that deep blue New York and New Jersey saw the largest shifts nationwide toward President-elect Trump in the 2024 election. More precisely, Dave Wasserman, a senior editor and elections analyst with the nonpartisan Cook Political Report, they found an 11.5% swing toward Trump in the Empire State and similarly impressive 10.1% movement in the Republicans' favor in the Garden State compared to the 45th president's 2020 results. Florida, 9.8%, Massachusetts, 8.7%, California, 8.4%, Texas, 8.3%, Mississippi, 7.7%, Rhode Island, 7%, Tennessee, 6.5%, and Illinois, 6.4% rounded out the top 10. And boy, did Trump make his mark in the blue states. Now, granted, a Republican presidential candidate hasn't won the Democratic stronghold of New Jersey since 1988. It's been even longer in New York, where the last Republican to win was Ronald Reagan in his 1984 landslide over Walter Mondale. But you know what the New Jersey GOP tweeted shortly after Trump's election day win over Vice President Kamala Harris? That New Jersey has become a swing state. Garden State GOP Chairman Bob Hugin said that Democrats have abandoned the working class and it's our opportunity to govern now. New York GOP Chairman Ed Cox added to that and said that under President-elect Donald Trump's leadership, Republicans have broadened our coalition and brought a once-in-a-lifetime shift in our voter base, drawing in working-class Americans, voters of color, and younger citizens disillusioned with the status quo. For Cox, New York may be a blue state, but it's a working class blue state, not a progressive, not a woke blue state. And like most of America, they see their state as one where working class families, they want safe neighborhoods, they want affordable housing, good schools, and economic opportunity. Because see, as they pointed out, while Democrats are pushing radical policies and government overreach, from gender ideology and kids' sports to banning gas stoves, New Yorkers are concerned about the dual crises of inflation and illegal immigration. And nobody understands that more than President-elect Trump. In fact, if you noticed, he even made a play for both New York and New Jersey on the campaign trail. He held a massive rally in Wildwood, New Jersey in May that drew an estimated crowd of around 80 to 100,000 people, a record for a Garden State political rally. Trump followed that up with rallies in South Bronx, at Croatia Park, and Madison Square Garden in Midtown Manhattan. Who knows? We may see a red New York or a red New Jersey in the near future, guys. What do you say? You guys ready to welcome that to the fold? But let me know what you guys think about all this. The Iowa pollster who up and quit after delivering that ridiculous result, Harris spending millions of dollars on private jets and ice cream, and of course, Trump making a red dent on blue strongholds, New York and New Jersey. Guys, another jam-packed video right here, guys. If you want more videos like this, head right on over to our video section of the channel where we have loads more like this one. Now, if you want my personal recommendation, then you gotta check out my recent video that went viral of this comedian impersonating Kamala Harris after her massive election loss. Seriously, guys, funny stuff. So definitely check that one out after this one. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button and subscribing. We'll see you guys next time.